An exclusive interview with the former La Jolla restaurant owner who was convicted of raping multiple women. Just yesterday, Daniel Dorado was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
Several victims shared their emotional stories with the courtroom. Now Dorado is giving his side of the story. And a warning, parts of tonight's story are graphic. Here is our ABC 10 News reporter, Jennifer Castro.
Daniel Dorado maintains his innocence and accuses law enforcement of conspiring against him, although he lacks the evidence to back his claims. In ABC 10 News' continued efforts to do balanced reporting, we're choosing to share his story, especially since his arrest and prosecution had such a deep impact on the community.
To accept this free call, press 1.
62-year-old Daniel Dorado is breaking his silence from behind bars.
This is the first time and only time I've ever spoken to anybody to this degree.
The former owner of La Jolla's Volta del Mare restaurant has been incarcerated at George Bailey Detention Center since he was convicted last December on 20 counts related to rape and sexual assault of 4 victims who were unconscious and intoxicated. This week, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
You're vilified 24/7, Jennifer. Nobody made this woman do anything. It was all very consenting.
ABC 10 News broke the story 2 years ago when Dorado was charged with drugging and raping women, sometimes at his restaurant. We previously spoke to one woman who said it happened to her.
I went into a job interview. I would have never imagined going through sexual assault and not knowing how it happened.
She said she answered an ad on Craigslist for a hostess position, and when she went in for an interview, she said Dorado offered her wine, which she accepted. What happened next is unclear.
What I do recall is waking up around 4 in the morning, and I did not have any clothes on. He had nothing on, bruises around my chest. I was in great pain.
Same court, same cause.
At trial, some of his former employees talked about working for him.
He was very erratic, his behavior. He would say one thing, and then he would be yelling at you, and then he would be nice the next second. One of the women that came forward was during when we were working there. So, it could have been us.
For the first time now, Dorado is sharing his side of this story.
I will not be satisfied till I'm exonerated.
He denies any wrongdoing, saying every sexual encounter was consensual. He believes that the DA's office unfairly bolstered a conviction against him, although his argument is based on speculation.
And what evidence do you have to support that?
I don't have any evidence. That belongs to the detectives.
Dorado pointed to one encounter with a woman who he said came to his restaurant after they'd met on a dating app.
In a window of time between 12 and 3, she had 2 martinis, each with an ounce and a half of vodka and 3 ounces of cranberry juice. I gave her the opportunity to drive home, because her van's right in front, and I said, or would you like to continue our day and join me for lunch? And she joined me for lunch. And we never drank again.
That lunch and eventually sex was at the Bahia Resort Hotel, where he claimed resort surveillance video would have revealed that she was conscious and coherent. But he said that video was not shown in court. He accused detectives and the DA's office of purposefully withholding it. Dorado also said he believes he was recorded in a pretext call staged by detectives, in which the victim called to solicit incriminating statements. Dorado believes she was disgruntled after their date.
You have to keep something in mind. I did not call this woman back for several weeks after we met. Okay? And so my attorney told me flat out, this is a case of buyer's remorse.
Why would multiple women who don't know each other, why would they do this to you?
Several reasons. Attention, financial, popular.
He insisted, though, that he's not a victim blamer or shamer. He told ABC 10 News that another victim was actually his friend and that authorities pressured her to testify against him.
The district attorney and the judge allowed me to still interact with her, allowed me to cohabitate with her, because she let me live in her townhouse during my bail. What judge allows a rapist to live with her victim?
Rule 4.410 asks,
at this week's sentencing hearing, she was the only victim who spoke out in his defense. She accused detectives of manipulating her to testify against her will and appear confused about a possible assault.
Your Honor, Mr. Dorado never raped me. I never went to the police. I never filed a police report. In fact, I declined a restraining order against Mr. Dorado, and I told detectives that I did not want to press charges.
On the phone Tuesday night, she declined to offer any more public comment. ABC 10 News reached out to the attorney for the victim from Craigslist to get her position on his accusations. She has not called to provide comment. The DA's office wrote in part to ABC 10 News, "The district attorney's office presented evidence in open court. A jury found we proved our case beyond a reasonable doubt and convicted the defendant of these violent crimes. The victims in this case deserve justice." A follow-up statement after the sentencing hearing read, "Tuesday's comments in open court by the judge, the victims, and our prosecutor, along with the evidence presented at trial, all support the just result and appropriate sentence in this case." Part of a San Diego Police Department statement reads, "The department's sex crimes unit thoroughly investigated all incidents brought to our attention, and we appreciate the San Diego County District Attorney's efforts to help seek justice for all those who've been victimized by Mr. Dorado."
I'm angry. My life has been ruined. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm looking for the truth.
One of the victims filed a civil suit against Dorado after he was arrested. The attorney for the victim said they have since asked that the case be dismissed, which was granted. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.